Yes, guys, we are finally back. We have finally made it to another reaction on this here BrBpTV YouTube platform, brothers and sisters. And indeed, today is indeed a very sad day when it comes down to the situation involving one of the media personalities known as Fredina Frampton has indeed passed on, brothers and sisters. And of course, a number of persons have been asking me, Mr. Leaks, what's going on? And so forth and so forth. Now, brothers and sisters, I'm going to try my best to break this down as easy and simple as it is, well, as possible. And as a result of, there might be certain things, because there's a lot of voice notes going around, and you know, sometimes you might think that certain people are insensitive in the way that they say certain things, so we have to definitely edit out certain things right there. And I'll pretty much give it a synopsis of this. But with all that said right there, guys, let us listen to what Fredina herself had to say when it comes on to her predicament right there. Take a listen.
Yes, my dear, I've been at the hospital for over 2 weeks.
So let me just start back. I'll be stopping from the bits and pieces, guys, because a number of persons ask me questions, and I'm getting the answers from Fredina, so I'll be answering them there right there. So let's go.
Yes, my dear, I've been at the hospital for over 2 weeks.
So she pretty much has been in. People ask me the question, what did she end up in the hospital the same day and ended up in ICU, and as a result of this? Well, apparently, based on what she was saying, she was actually in the hospital for the past 2 weeks, guys. For the past 2 weeks. She passed away yesterday. She was in the hospital for the past 2 weeks, okay? So we get that done. Next.
I think I came in on this Saturday, either the 30th, whatever that date was. Yes.
So the Saturday was when? Let me see when Saturday was. The 30th. Let me see if I see this. The Saturday, yes, the Saturday was indeed the 30th. If it's 2 weeks ago, 1, 2, well, that's more than 2 weeks if it's the 30th. It's either the 6th or the 30th right there. That was last year. So December 30th would be the Saturday, or the 6th would be January 6th, because she said 2 weeks. So 1 week and a half. So it's around there. Either or. Okay, let's continue.
I think I came in with dengue, but was also developing an abscess.
So she came in, she thinks she was developing dengue. So I'm guessing that's the reason why she went to the hospital. She went to the hospital as a result of dengue. And then she reiterated that she was developing some sort of abscess
simultaneously. And everything just created a big challenge. I had to have surgery. The surgery was done last week, Thursday, I believe.
So she had surgery last week, Thursday. I'm guessing on the 11th. Okay. Continue.
So I'm kind of in recovery now, you could say.
So it's interesting that she's now stating that she's in recovery. All right, so she did the surgeries and all of that stuff, went through the situation, and you can hear from her voice that, you know, she might be a little down, but she has a level of life with her, and hoping to make a full recovery as a result of the surgeries.
And
so keep in mind, this is her speaking after the surgery. She's pretty much giving a recount of, you know, yeah,
it's been, I was on oxygen for an extended period of time. I had no energy.
I'm guessing that is as a result of the dengue. Okay.
My appetite has not returned as yet, so probably when you see me I might look like a stick. But yeah, I didn't really make it public per se, primarily because I was not able, because I couldn't even well communicate. I couldn't do anything really, and then it's only when they actually did the initial minor surgery on the abscess that, you know, things started to turn around, and then I did the actual surgery on Thursday to clean it up and to do whatever.
So she seems like she did 2. Let me go back and see what she said there.
Yeah, minor surgery on the abscess. That, you know, things started to turn around, and then I did the actual surgery on Thursday.
So it seems like she did 2 surgeries.
When they actually did the initial minor surgery on
so there was a minor surgery and then
the abscess, that, you know, things started to turn around, and then I did the actual surgery on Thursday to clean it up and to do whatever.
The surgery to okay.
Yeah, it's not been the easiest days, but yeah.
So that's Fredina herself speaking. For the number of individuals who are asking me questions about what was going on, this kind of things there. Well, from Fredina's mouth, brothers and sisters. And this was all done after the surgery, which means she was making a full recovery. She actually spoke about 2 different situations where she did a minor surgery and then I guess the fixing up or whatever was done the second time. And I'm guessing she said as soon as they did the minor surgery, she was coming back. She was coming back and, you know, she was able to give the voice notes and so forth and so forth. Now, there was apparently a ward aide individual who knew about this. Now, one of the things that I saw, I listened to the full thing, brothers and sisters, and I don't know what kind of training they tend to give individuals when they're giving information. But I think when certain situations happen, I think individuals need to learn to be empathetic. They need to be empathetic or sympathy, or have a level of sympathy for the level of for the family and the friends of the individual right there. No, because I would not normally post this stuff up, but it's basic on the basis that she was a public figure, media personalities, and of course individuals asking me questions. So I wanted to get the full story, and when I get the full story, I'm putting this stuff out there. Now, guys, all this is just alleged information. The person that's giving a viewpoint, I don't know for on par, but that is based on the information that we have been receiving right there. Now take a listen. I've edited out a number of things inside it because I find some of the information that was being stated was really harsh. So I edited out, and I'll pretty much give like a synopsis or break down what the person was saying in a more nicer way.
When she came, she had
also the audio has been, the vocal has been what do you call that again? Disguised. So
a nasty sore. She is diabetic. She has been diabetic for years.
So she's a diabetic, and when she came in for sore. I think that's what she was talking about when she talked about the abscess. So it correlates with one another.
She came in with that sore between her legs. So
no, I did a little research in that regard when it comes down to individuals with diabetes, and then there's an abscess. Now, sometimes the abscess develops on the back, and sometimes it develops on lower the buttocks area around there when it comes down to diabetes and an abscess being developed. I did not go in depth to find out why, but certain things tend to happen when it comes down to individuals with certain conditions, and as a result of the conditions, it kind of escalates. This is why one of the things that I want individuals to take out from this message right there, brothers and sisters, it's important that you always take your health seriously. When certain things are happening, some people believe, oh, that will go away, man. I'll just, do what I doing, take paracetamol or alcohol and just leave it there and just hope for the best, brothers and sisters. Certain things we cannot handle on our own. We need to have more professional, even though sometimes you might look at the hospital and say, boy, the hospital is not a place for, And there's also another interesting thing that I heard, or it's alleged. I'll give a mention to it a bit later on, right there. Anyways, let's continue. But the important thing is, guys, we need to take our health seriously. All right? When certain things are happening, put away the pride, put away these things, and focus on your health and say, hey, I need to get better. I need to nip this in the bud before it escalates into another thing right there. Let's continue.
Fredina must have stayed and make that thing coffee between her legs.
So pretty much, she may have let the abscess that she spoke about, get out of hand, so to speak. Anyways, let's continue.
Pride, I guess. It maybe still come out as a boil, and she maybe was embarrassed and never take thing.
No, this person was being a little harsh, so you'll find certain things being rushed, okay?
When the man come, the question the man she have the little boy come, she have playing a couple they come. Oh, what you can have the woman?
So apparently the boyfriend came in and there was a level of, I guess, scent in the area, and was like, how can you guys have this woman in these conditions, and was making noise and this kind of things there, which is rather interesting because I've also heard other stories when it comes down to this kind of situation, especially for bed sores. Now, I don't know if the nurses are overwhelmed or the nurses are like, you know what, I'm not getting paid enough to do these kind of things over and over. I'm not sure what the situation is, but I also remember Dr. Owen Bully right there. His situation when he was in the hospital, that self was another case, and we're talking about the very icon and the way that he was treated in the hospital. Now you pretty much see that situation being broken down in that very same thing right there, and I'll break it down for you guys for you to understand. Now when the boy, the partner came in or whatever, the partner was making noise.
The man come, the question the man she have the little boy come, she have playing a couple they come. Oh, what you can have the woman? The boy start to curse those nurses. Oh, if they don't want to change her, he himself will change her.
That is what I was pointing out right there, brothers and sisters. It seems like if you don't have family members or somebody to watch over you, brothers and sisters, sometimes the hospital can be a very dangerous place. And when it comes down to Dominica Hospital, that can be a very interesting one right there. Just the other day, and this is why I posted this one right there. DFC, Dominica China Friendship Hospital, suspends surgery due to a lack of medical supplies. A lack of medical supplies, brothers and sisters, that of which I will talk about in a moment. But the individual came in, noticed something, and say, how can you have her in this situation? Which begs the question, why didn't the nurses and the doctors or whoever there do something about it? Because she stated that she was in the hospital for the past 2 weeks. 2 weeks. To the point where it elevated, and then they had to put her in ICU, and then I'll give a side note to that right there when it comes down to the injections, brothers and sisters. But let's continue.
He put on glove and he switched her bed. He tell him, where can put her?
So the individual came in, partner, whoever he was, came in, realized that that was a terrible state, wanted to do something about it. Apparently the nurses and the doctors were not doing anything about it. You know, you have nice buildings, but brothers and sisters, the service suck. For them, some individual to come in, at least that person shows some sort of care, and I guess in for the woman, came in and realized that that situation should not be at all. Something should be done. And it's only when he arrived that something was done. So that couldn't have been done before he arrived? That's my question right there. If that be the case, couldn't something have been done right there? Because look, he came in and he's doing the asking, boy, I tell you.
He put on gloves and he switched her
So
bed.
the man had to put on gloves and he switched beds and so forth. Couldn't the nurses and the doctors or whoever there do something like this to help alleviate the situation?
Where can put her? And when they tell him take her up, to put on the clean bed on bed 17 and put her there.
Interesting. You see the problem I'm talking about, brothers. It's not me that's saying these things, you know. It's not me that's saying these things. The man had to come in, see a situation that was nothing. Maybe he was not sure exactly what was going on and wanted to try to help and whatnot, making noise, cursing up people and so forth. And then they decided, okay, go on bed 17 or whatever, put her on bed 17 or whatnot. Because most likely the present bed that she was not wasn't the best. And the understanding of this from other stories I've heard, it was kind of like the same thing, especially when it comes down to bed sores. Now, I'm not saying that she had bed sores. I don't know what the situation is. She had been there for 2 weeks. I don't know. But on the basis of even having the abscess and then knowing that bed sores tend to develop, brothers and sisters, I mean, come on. So if the individual had to come in and then for him to make noise so that she can be moved to another bed, why didn't the nurses and the doctors do that? Why didn't the people responsible to do this?
From the time the boy take out the girl in the room where she was, and go in the room where 17 is.
So you're talking about there was some, scent in the area. And then, yeah. Anyways, let's continue.
You hear me? And the boy making noise. The boy safing. Even tell Greg what his mind telling to be that when Sister Joseph come on the water, Sister Joseph said, no. Put her in isolation.
So the situation, I guess, escalated to the point where they had to put her in isolation as a result of certain things, brothers and sisters. Now, I'm thinking to myself, why didn't they do something about this before? And I'm not just talking about her situation. I'm talking about generally speaking, because this is not the first time. Even I know about the story of Alwyn Bull, I know about it. I know about this situation with and I'm vexed about it because Alwyn Bull was my field mentor. He was my field mentor. And not just my field mentor, an icon to Dominica. And this is what they did the man. Now there's another situation right there, and you wonder why people just make noise about the hospital. Brothers and sisters, a lot of people tend to just be talking until it reaches their front doorstep. Now don't get me wrong. Like I stated before, I think individuals also need to take the responsibility of their health. True. But when you go to the hospital, you expect the individuals who are employed at the hospital to do what needs to be done based off their jobs, to ensure that the people have adequate health. If you need to move the person from one bed to the other, or isolate the person, or whatever, give the person whatever they need to get. That's the thing. You cannot tell me some individual come from outside and had to put on gloves himself. I remember when my friend came from Canada, she herself had to get involved and try to get some of these students to help. When it comes down to her grandmother, when I heard these stories, I knew the grandmother wasn't going to make it. So sad. So done, brothers and sisters. So sometimes there's also, I don't know I think that's another culture in Dominica. There seems to be a level of neglect. I'm not saying that happens all the time. But based on the stories that I've been hearing about Dominica, brothers and sisters, this is why when individuals calling me, hey, Mr. Licks, I have to come down Dominica. You have health care overseas. You have things that can fly you out. If you're in problem, you want to come to Dominica, that's fine. You are associated to the near Caribbean islands that have better medical health care. So don't just say, oh, I want to come. And no, you have to prepare yourself to come in, because I know the medical fraternity in Dominica is not the best. And worse off again, brothers and sisters, they take off a man that actually involved in health care. Take him out from the position of Minister of Health and put a civil engineer, and we expect better to come. But sometimes I feel it's magie. I feel it's nonsense. I say, because what is happening should not be happening. People with the expertise in the field, even though they give the very individual who was former Minister of Health award for doing a great job in the healthcare. Apparently, I don't think that was a great job, but based on the whole Rona situation, people will say, this and that. I myself reserve my own rights on that. But when it comes down to Dominica, I think there needs to be, they're not probably not paying the nurses and the doctors properly. They probably, one of the things that we know for sure, the medical supplies are definitely limited. Now, guys, keep in mind, this was Ferdina speaking after all the surgeries, brothers and sisters. She was in recovery mode.
So then she called the audit and they bring her in isolation, and that is where she was. But apparently maybe they had take her theater. No more juice.
Theater.
Water. So I don't know it, but I hear they had bring her theater. So apparently when they bring her theater, to clean that. And then maybe something went wrong. I don't know. I was shocked, I tell you.
So this person was in recovery. The lady was in recovery. She couldn't speak properly before. She even make voice note to send to whoever to say that she's in recovery mode. And when she come out, and hoping to come out because she's in recovery mode, to the point where she even says she lost weight because she lost appetite and so forth and so forth. Hoping to come out, I guess, in a different person. And did not make it out. So there's a number of things you can actually learn in these, brothers and sisters. One, take care of your health. Don't depend on somebody else to take care of your health for you. Eat properly, exercise, go out and take some sun, get some supplements. One of the things I always tell people, brothers and sisters, in this day and age that we're living in, especially in this Dominica right now, the things that we're eating are not adequately equipped with the nutrients and minerals and nutrients that we need. The proper nutrients that we need, the nutrition that we need for our body to function on a daily basis. So what we have to do now is get multivitamins. And don't just get multivitamins, brothers and sisters. You need to get the natural ones. There are natural supplements that you can, multivitamins that you can get. One of the things that, well, three other things that black people are, especially black people, brothers and sisters of African descent, three other things that they lack. 1, vitamin D. 2, magnesium. And 3, zinc, brothers and sisters. Vitamin D, magnesium, and zinc are 3 of the most important nutrients. You can Google it for yourself. 3 of the most important nutrients that black people need and are lacking. Because the foods that we eat are not adequately don't have the proper adequate nutrients for us. And the foods themselves sometimes don't even have nutrients. That's one of the things that I learned in the United States. We are eating food, brothers and sisters, that has no nutrients. It's fooling us up, yes. It's fooling you up, but has no nutrients or very little nutrients. When your body needs nutrients for it to survive and to keep healthy, you eating food thinking the food giving you nutrients and it's not giving you nutrients. This is why you need to have supplements, brothers and sisters. I never used to believe in that before. Never. When I hear people taking supplements, I say, what is that? Who taking supplements, brothers and sisters? One person that is an advocate for supplements is me. So it's important, brothers and sisters, to get your supplements. Get your supplements and put your health care first. That's the first thing to notice. Another thing is the hospitals. The hospitals need a revamping. We had worse buildings before, brothers and sisters. We have the best set of looking buildings when it comes down to the hospital in Dominica's history. Yet still we have one of the worst healthcare services. Nice buildings, worst healthcare services. Not so nice buildings, but adequate enough. And one of the best, people used to come and do surgeries in Dominica. People from overseas used to fly into Dominica to come and do surgeries in Dominica. I remember as a little youth, people used to give birth in Portsmouth. There's where the fire station was, clinic, baby would make their way. Baby would make their birth of babies would take place there, brothers and sisters. It was like a facade when people see, oh, surgery in Portsmouth. What? It's like unbelievable stuff. Are we getting better or are we getting worse? Another important thing, brothers and sisters, from my understanding now, this is alleged as well, on the basis of that very thing, suspended surgeries due to lack of medical supplies. There's a possibility that the hospital was also lacking another supply that was needed by FERDINA. And it was not there, and as a result, that's why most likely she ended up in ICU. But this is the reason why I tend to bring out these things is not to pretend as if, oh, everything is fine and dandy, or oh, I know better than this person and that person. What I'm pointing out there is the possibilities of something that could happen to you. This is not about saying, oh, it's red eye and blue eye and purple. We should be Dominican, or you should be Dominicans first. And put your country first. What is needed for Dominicans to be able to handle Dominicans in Dominica. When the very Prime Minister come in and tell you guys, I can send my family overseas. I can send my little ones overseas for better medical attention. Then asking these supporters, what about them? And when we see these kind of things happening, we want to pretend, oh, no man, that's nothing. We need proper, adequate supplies in the hospital. And when doctors and nurses are asking and requesting for stuff over and over and they're not getting it, it'll get them frustrated. So the people at the top are frustrating the doctors and the nurses themselves when they need proper, adequate equipment and supplies. Yes, we're talking about Portsmouth. Oh, Portsmouth has smart hospital because we have motion sensor lights and the AC stops or automatic. Some kind of foolishness. Brothers and sisters, need to take stock. Anyways, one of the family members of this individual, Fredina, gave this information right there. And he stated, for the 2 decades, I have openly fought corruption and malfeasance. What is that? Malfeasance. Whatever. In Dominica. Bad practices in Dominica. I was fighting to prevent what happened to my sister and what may happen to yours. Brothers and sisters, when I talking, it's not just about me saying, oh I want to. Brothers and sisters, it's you I putting out this information for me. So you can do something about it to prevent your brothers. High. I'll always remember that story. They came for the Catholics, but because I was not Catholic, I did nothing. Then they came for the Jews, and because I was not a Jew, I did nothing. They came for the Christians, and because I wasn't a Christian, I did nothing. When they finally came for me, there was no one there to stand for me. All this information is going on there, brothers and sisters, so we can learn and say, hey guys, something needs to be done. For donkey years, the healthcare has been deteriorating. Every year we have nicer buildings, but worse healthcare. I will never forget the individual who went in for a hand operation. My goodness gracious. A hand operation, you have a 99% chance of surviving. A hand operation, the 1% happened in Dominica. The man did not make it out now. The man did not make it out. Anyways, the family members, for 2 decades, I only fought corruption and malfeasance, whatever, in Dominica. I was fighting to prevent what happened to my sister and what may just happen to yours. The unconscionable governance and public sector mismanagement you are supporting cost lives. I remember one of my friends, man, and she went to the hospital. She went to the hospital for surgery. That was it. That was it. The unconscionable governance and the public sector mismanagement you are supporting, guys, definitely costs lives. So just keep it real when you are wishing me condolences, this individual saying. Look up and pretend, hey, we're sorry, Elas, we're so sorry, my goodness gracious. Why? When you're supporting the very system that has caused his sister to die. And maybe yours coming soon. And because you don't think of that, brothers and sisters, we never think of the future. We always think about greed and ourselves. Me. It don't happen to me, so it's not my problem. Not true. Until it happened to you and you want others to stand for you. Brothers and sisters, this is why the opposition, Lennox Linton and all the others have been saying. What they have been saying, things that are needed in the hospital. I remember Annette saying the same thing, Annette Sanford saying the same thing. Certain things are missing in the hospital. My sister was yet another gift our family gave to the Dominican people whom she loved so dearly. She didn't belong only to us, this individual is saying. She belonged to all the Dominican lives she touched. Rest in peace, sis. As I read in that day, Alwyn Bully just popped up in my head again. He gave his life for Dominica. To see Dominican youth elevated. I remember when this man came for me, man. I was like, the great Alwyn Bully, come and see me. My little YouTube videos I make. Alwyn Bully, come Portsmouth to look for me. Who is that guy? I wanted to put me in movies and those kind of things there. We had all these kind of sessions happening, you know, practicing sessions happening in St. John's School when it's to come down, and I think every Saturday or every one of them, Saturday, yes, coming on every Saturday and meeting the force and, you know, getting that ball rolling. And when I heard how they treat the man who made the flag of Dominica. Brothers and sisters, how long now? How long? What are your thoughts, guys? Give this video a thumbs up for Fredina, for definitely being a representative, on, especially when it comes down to professional standing as a media rep. A person, that's how I knew her, media rep. I think she used to work in one of the companies in Dominica, but I know her as a media rep, a person, a media personality. And of course, she did a wonderful job across the board, interviewing a number of individuals. And I didn't have any personal impact of her in my life. I just knew that she did some interviews and this kind of things there, and she was a spokesperson for a certain company, and you know. But now she's gone, guys. Listening to the voice note of Fredina, I'm in my recovery mode. So when you see me again, I'll be, slim. I'll be. Guys, one thing is I always tell people, sometimes we have no idea what's going to happen. But it's always important to prepare to meet the maker, eh? It is always important to prepare to meet the maker. Fredina looked like she had a wonderful life, going all over the place, doing different things, and looks like something that she enjoyed doing. I know I feel the joy when I do media stuff as well. Especially when you get information and you get to bring out the information to people, and people are better or more knowledgeable when it comes down to the information you give. That is something that is very much success. I was going to say happiness, but no, it's not happiness. Success in itself. And that brings a level of, enjoyment to see people getting to know better and, hopefully do better. That's one of the things that we want when we put information out there, for people to do better, And when certain things happen, brothers and sisters, it gives us a reminder, brothers and sisters, to take stock. Not just to take stock in our own lives, but our friends' lives and our family, our neighbors. But to also take stock that one day we will leave this world. One day Guys, one day Mr. Lex is going to be gone. Don't worry about me, I good. Hey, yeah man, I good. But it's important to ensure that you know the Most High before you leave this planet. I don't care what you can believe what you want. You're bound to meet the Creator. Oh, yes. Anyways, rest in peace, and sympathies goes out to the family and friends of Miss Fredina Frampton right there. Anyways, guys, give this video a thumbs up for her. And with all that today right there, definitely subscribe and turn on that post notification for you to get more vibrations as they tend to come through. I'll be dropping another reaction on the Mr. Lex reaction, guys, a bit later on today. So with that said, guys, remember, guys, be real, be positive.